My first guitar. Um, well, the weird thing about that is that as I was growing up, there was a guitar at the house the whole time since I was born. My mother had a college art project to do, and she ended up making this classical guitar covered with paper mache for art class. So there weren't any strings on it uh, for all the strings. It was just a couple of strings on something that used to be a guitar, and that was around the house when I was 6 or 7 years old, and I took interest in it, and thought I was playing guitar when I was 6 or 7, but I wasn't. So they got me a Mickey Mouse guitar, and I promptly destroyed it, and I didn't see anything about a guitar anymore after that, except the one that was that college art project. It was hanging out from the left over from the last century or whenever, and after that, uh, when I first started playing guitar, when I first started getting into it, I was about 11 years old and was riding down the road with my mother and my brother in the front seat. I'm in the back seat, and up to that point I was pretty much down on anything music related for some reason. And then, one evening on a regular drive of their their daily listen to Stairway to Heaven, all of a sudden that guitar solo started in, and I heard it in a way that I'd never heard it before. It just spoke to me. It was like one of the most divine sounds I'd ever heard in my life, and it just completely charged me for a lifetime full of passion. I mean, it fueled so much passion to really connect with some good music, or music that I thought was good. It was a significant point in my life. It was the point when I decided what I was going to do for the long term. Yeah, I tried to take lessons for about a year. I would go pay this man some money, and I would take him whatever CD or cassette tape or whatever I could find that I wanted to be able to play, and I would take it to this man, and he would turn it on, and he would start writing numbers on lines on paper, and I did not understand what he was doing, and he never really explained to me what he was doing, so I just kind of gave up on it, and I went on my own, and after school every day from then on, I would just lock myself in my room and forget about having a social life for a long time. I just stuck with guitar, and didn't do what all the other folks were doing after school and whatnot. It probably kept me out of a lot of trouble for a long period of time before I learned about some of the pitfalls, like going to pay somebody to write numbers on paper that you don't understand, and keeping on coming back. That was redundant, but after a year of that, I got wise to it and realized that wasn't the way that I was going to learn. I mean, I know lots of people learn that way, but for me, I just had to sit there and do it my own way. And I know it was taking the long road, and it probably could have been easier, but that was the way I had to do it. Was just kind of figure it out on my own. And then when I connected A and D and E and played Wild Thing on guitar for the first time, that was the first thing I ever played, was Wild Thing, because it's very basic, simple chords, and there's not a whole lot of them. But yeah, I remember that. It was pretty exciting. I was like, oh, I'm playing something. Because it had been a year and a half, and I couldn't even play anything at all. But that time is over now. Presently, I've been touring the college circuit and playing the college circuit and college functions, and enjoying that life and having a blast doing it. And I've met some really cool people, and made some good connections to some good people out there that I had no idea existed. So I'm getting payback for that college education that I never finished, and that's what I've been doing. Currently working on a project for charity for Ronald McDonald House, in lieu of a dear friend of mine's children having had to stay there along with the family for an extended stay because they had to go to Sloan Memorial in New York because of Fanconi anemia, which is a rare sickness, but it's basically a death sentence if you don't get treatment for it. It shortens your life expectancy by a very large percentage. And so the Ronald McDonald House in New York took care of my friend and his children, and I thought that was right and very righteous. So I'm gonna make sure that I record some music for them to benefit off of, and hopefully that will make some families smile and give them a little bit of a mental break from everything that's going on in their lives and during their troubled times, and maybe it'll help them get through their hardships. Anyway, that's the goal. I've known a lot of people that had hardships, and I've had lots of friends that have had sicknesses, and I've seen a lot of sicknesses with people up close, and I know how devastating it can be. My mentor passed away about 8 years ago now. He actually died from MS, and he didn't even make it to 50 years old. Yes, he was the oldest guy in the band, but you wouldn't have thought so because he was very cool. And he's actually the guy that turned me on to the sound of high-watt amplifiers. And I was, as far as guitar amplifiers and equipment goes, I'll say that I started off as a guy that was really in favor of the sound of a Marshall amp, and when I met this mentor of mine, he had a clue, and he turned me on to the zing of a high-watt, and just how good some great mil-spec hand-wired tube technology can be. So I ended up connecting up with the people at Hi-Watt, and they were nice enough to give me an endorsement, and so not only do I get a free t-shirt, I've got a great new amplifier sitting at the house, ready to be as loud as necessary for any event. And I'm going to use it in the recording of some of this music too that I'm in the process of getting ready to record.